his disciple that whether you are in saffron or in white or in pent shirt, the purpose should be to serve Krishna only.
Yeah.
But if the purpose is this, why people take different dresses to serve Krishna? Why not in the? Why don't they follow the Varnashram dharma?
Yeah. So this is Varnashram dharma is about our prescribed duties, and we offer them to Krishna, and they become devotional service. Krishna has explained in the 3rd chapter that when one is in perfect knowledge, actually he has no duty, but still he will act. But in our parampara, we are following Varnashram dharma. So our preachers take up saffron colored cloth, they take up orange cloth, because that gives a mark of respect in society. So the purpose is the same. People in white cloth can also preach. But this was begun by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because when he took sannyas, it was because he realized that some people, not realizing he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were not seriously listening to him, because he was dressed as a grihasta, as a householder. So he took sannyas from an elevated Mayavadi school, because it would give him the respect. And by having that respect as a sannyasi, people will offer obeisances to him, they will host him, and in that way they will get a gyat sukriti, which is pious credit. Because to serve a devotee, then you get this unknowing sukriti, which helps you come to devotional service. So that was the purpose of the sannyas taken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Also taken, Bhakti Siddhanta also took for the same reason. Some of our other acharyas dressed in white as Babaji. So Babaji is separate from Varnashram. A Babaji has renounced Varnashram. He dresses in white, only a half cloth, and in our line there are also preachers like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He took Babaji initiation towards the end of his life, after being a grihasta. But that is beyond Varnashram. Varnashram, there's the brahmachari and grihasta, vanaprastha and sannyasi. So this is coming into devotional service, provided we offer it to Krishna. It's part of understanding what our duty is in society. But when we come to the transcendental platform, our duties are more clearly explained for devotees. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Kada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atman, Veda, Dasyam, and Misdasyam Samam. So we still act in our prescribed duties according to Varnashram. You'll find the brahmacharis wear orange. They live separate from women. They live in an ashram. Grihastas live outside, or they dress in white. There are vanaprasthas who sometimes dress in orange and sometimes dress in off-white, and they're not such a clear, in ISKCON they're not such a clear ashram. And then there are sannyasis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbids sannyas for the age of Kali. In fact, the Shastras forbid it. But this sannyas has been taken in our sampradaya for the purpose of preaching. So in order to preach, one can take sannyas. But yeah, the purpose of all is to serve Krishna and spread Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada established the temples where everybody can come together. And as a general rule, the sannyasis are traveling and preaching. The brahmacharis are also preaching, and the grihastas are maintaining the temples. But all people can do all service and serve Lord Chaitanya by spreading the mission. Because Lord Chaitanya predicted in every town and village this holy name will be heard. So that's the purpose of our Krishna conscious movement. And to achieve that purpose, we need many people doing many different things. Srila Prabhupada explains that just like you've got a leg and you've got a head, so you can't say that the head is better, therefore I don't need the leg. They still both have their uses. You can say the head is better, because if you cut off your leg, you still live, but if you cut off your head, you're finished. So in that way you can say the head is better. But they still both have purposes. So it's like in Krishna consciousness. There are people who cook for the deities. There are people who just clean. There are people who go out and preach. There are people who sell books. And there are people who are doing so many different things. But they're all serving the same purpose. When we're working together nicely, we're all serving the same purpose, to serve Srila Prabhupada and to serve Lord Chaitanya's mission and spread Krishna consciousness. So some people will be out selling the books, and some people might just never see people, make flower garlands, serve the deities, clean the toilets. That was the first thing. When I came, most people come to Krishna consciousness and they have stories about washing pots. But I was told over and over again, it doesn't matter if you clean the toilets. And then he'd say, but you don't have to clean the toilets. But he was giving the example. Even if you clean the toilets, if you're doing it for Krishna, it's on the same platform as somebody who's out preaching, like that. And yeah, we have different situations in society, because we need to understand we're still in material bodies. We have to treat men and women different, because the modes of nature are different that come with the bodies. We can't say everybody's the same, because in the modes of nature we come with, we're different. And as we take up the process of Krishna consciousness, we take initiation, Harinam initiation, and then we may take Brahmanical initiation. And for that a higher level of purity is understood. So we can't immediately take to Brahmanical initiation, because we have to develop this purity first. So in that way, there are people who wear the Brahman thread, that they have come to a standard of purity, that they accept Brahman initiation. So in that way they're a little different, but the purpose is still the same, to serve Krishna.
Yes. Okay. So Varnashram is seen, all the ashrams and all the varnas are seen as purificatory process. It means these are very simple things where we can use our nature, which says, which Krishna says, you cannot repress. So you use your nature to elevate yourself by doing, centering it for Krishna. You do the same thing that you would do, but your whole center is for Krishna. And if you look at all the activities we're doing in the temple, it just looks like stuff that other people do. But if you calculate it, it's all according to Varnashram. But we're doing it, and the center is for Krishna. That's how I see it. I don't know if it's the actual thing, but still.
Yeah. It's very important for us not to pretend we're more renounced than we are and all try to become Babajis, because we need to act with some guidelines for behavior. That particularly this relation with Varnashram Dham is in relation to the modes of nature that come with this body. This body comes with modes of nature. We can purify it by sacrificing for Krishna, but we can't change the modes. We can purify them.
This past Wednesday, Manjari gave the Nectar of Devotion class, and she mentioned three verses which referred to dog eaters, who could become more elevated than anyone in society if they were Vaishnavas. So you have Varnashram, and it doesn't actually matter what your standing in society is. Being a Vaishnava is the central point. But dog eater is eligible to be your spiritual master. Is eligible to do sacrifices and so on.
Yeah.
If he's a true Vaishnava.
Yeah, but the Acharyas go on to explain that while they're eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices, they actually don't. The Acharyas explain that their disqualification has been burnt up by devotional service. But they didn't have the samskaras that bring them to the... Like, it's explained for proper... We're not talking about pancharatra. There's two prescriptions. There is the Vedic path and Pancharatra Vidi. Pancharatra Vidi is what we follow in our deity worship. It's Narada Muni wrote Pancharatra, and it's not so high. But when you study, particularly the Srimad Bhagavatam, will tell you, even in some of the purports here will tell you, that to follow the actual Vedic path, the Vaidhi path, you have to do everything so perfectly, it's not possible for us. If we don't, like in this age of Kali, it is not possible to pronounce the mantras so perfectly that you don't make mistakes. Even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, something went wrong with somebody's sacrifice for a child because the priest pronounced some mantra wrong. And there was some demon that was supposed to kill Indra where the mantra was pronounced wrong. It ended up being that was... Yeah, so basically the Vaidhi sacrifices, we don't perform much either. We follow the samskaras given in Pancharatra Vidi. The Vedic Vidi we leave alone, because actually in this age of Kali it's not possible to perform. So although by devotional service we've burnt up the disqualification, we don't have the samskaras that will allow us to do that perfectly. Not to mention that everything was done with gold utensils, and the gold utensils were used once and thrown away, so we don't have the finances for it either. Hare Krishna.
The commentary, maybe I'm wrong because I speculated myself. These days I was reading Bhagavad Gita, and there was a shloka saying that Krishna saying, whoever goes outside to preach my name is my dearest devotee.
Yeah.
So I speculated that the preachers are higher than people doing other occupations, other jobs inside of the Vaishnava.
Yeah, but within the temple, although the purpose is preaching, everybody in the temple is supporting that purpose. In other words, the preacher can't go out and preach if nobody is cooking his prasadam for him so he can come back and eat prasadam. If he's out on the street for 14 hours a day, when he comes back he wants some prasadam. So there is a cook in the kitchen who's cooking for Krishna, who's cooking prasadam. Also in the temples, these temples are not just here to worship the deities, these temples are also for preaching. Because we attract people in to look at the beautiful... I mean, that's why the deities are dressed so beautifully. They are preaching. So the pujaris in that way the pujaris are also preaching. By dressing the deities so that people will become attracted, that's also a type of preaching. And by distributing books, even in one place Prabhupada said, what can your 1 minute preaching do? If you give someone a book, then their life is changed forever. So distributing books is also preaching, because it's distributing Prabhupada's words. So yes, preaching is the highest, but all of ISKCON, the purpose is preaching, so we're all working together. Like the example of the hand, the leg and the head, they work together. If you want to go for a walk, your head might be higher, but you need your leg to do it. Like that. So everybody is working together.
This brings to mind a lecture that I heard one time from a sannyasi who was explaining that although the Madhurya Bhav is considered the highest, all the rasas are considered to support the Madhurya Bhav. And then Prabhupada himself said, on at least 2 occasions that I know of, that there's actually no difference on down to Seva Bhav. There's actually no difference. No difference in what's highest.
No.
Because they're all supporting the highest. They all contribute to the support of the highest Bhav.
So they're all involved in the highest bhav.
Yeah.
Who can understand this? So,
Because the highest, but well, they're all involved to try and give Krishna the highest pleasure, like that. That's how you understand it, isn't it? But yeah, for each individual devotee, the rasa they're situated in is their perfection. They don't want anything else.
yeah, there's one, I don't know their names. There's one boy who delivers a letter to the gopis so she can give it to Radharani. Or there's another boy who's doing something to make sure that Krishna gets there on time. Or, it's all to support the Madhurya Ras. So in the temple, it's all there so that we can help Lord Chaitanya distribute the fruits. Even if it's a matter of cleaning the toilets, washing the pots. In the standard devotional service, it's all absolute. Prabhupada said it's all absolute.
Yeah.
I know myself, I had a hard time distributing books and actually getting some money out of it, so they removed me from the book distribution and sent, we were traveling, and sent me back to the house so I could do the laundry and do the cooking. I could do that. And the devotees needed that. They didn't have anybody else to do that. And this was very important service, so I felt like I was doing something useful and I felt like I was a part of the book distribution because it was very necessary, supportive activity. What can you do? I was useless at this other part of the service. Just like I can type and I can cook, but I can't bake. To save my life, bake like cakes and things. I mean, I can cook. I was internationally famous for being a good cook. I could really turn these things out, especially on festival days. Baking, no use. So somebody else can bake. So it's a necessary service. You have to do what is according to your nature. And if you do it for Krishna, it's all absolute. It's all absolute.
Yeah. So our perfection will be guided by our spiritual master according to our nature. And so we don't have to aspire falsely for something else because out of false ego we think preaching is higher, therefore I should be a preacher even though I'm useless at it. Our spiritual master is there to guide us. That was the point of the necessity to take a spiritual master who can actually give guidance. And some of us don't have such guidance from a Diksha Guru, but we all have Siksha Gurus, and we need to take that guidance so that we're properly situated according to our modes of nature and our natural abilities. Otherwise we're wasting our energy. Krishna's given us talents and energies to serve him with. We should use them as he's given them to us to serve him. Then it's perfect. Okay. Nothing else. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.